Presently the words Jamaica, Kingston, Spanish Town indicated the West Indies as his residence, and it was with no little surprise, I gathered, ere long, that he had there first seen and became acquainted with Mr. Rochester. He spoke of his friend's dislike of the burning heats, the hurricanes, and rainy seasons of their region. I knew Mr. Rochester had been a traveller. Mrs. Fairfax had said so, but I thought the continent of Europe had bounded his wanderings. Till now I had never heard a hint given of visits to more distant shores. I was pondering these things when an incident, and a somewhat unexpected one, broke the thread of my musings. Mr. Mason, shivering as some one chanced to open the door, asked for more coal to be put on the fire, which had burned out its flame, though its mass of cinder still shone hot and red. The footman who brought the coal, in going out, stopped near Mr. Ashton's chair, and said something to him in a low voice, of which I heard only the words "old woman," quite troublesome. "Tell her she should be put in stocks if she does not take herself off," replied the magistrate. "No, stop," interrupted Colonel Dent. "Don't send her away, Ashton. We might turn the thing to account. Better consult the ladies." And speaking aloud, he continued, "Ladies, you talk of going to Hay Common to visit the gipsy camp. Sam here says that one of the old Mother Bunches is in the servants' hall at this moment, and insists upon being brought in before the quality to tell them their fortunes. Would you like to see her?" "Surely, Colonel," cried Lady Ingram. "You would not encourage such a low impostor. Dismiss her by all means at once." "But I cannot persuade her to go away, my lady," said the footman, "nor can any of the servants. Mrs. Fairfax is with her just now, entertaining her to be gone, but she has taken a chair in the chimney corner, and says nothing shall stir her from it till she gets leave to come in here." "What does she want?" asked Mrs. Ashton. "To tell the gentry their fortunes, she says, ma'am, and she swears she must and will do it." "What is she like?" inquired Mrs. Ashton in a breath. "A shockingly ugly old creature, miss, almost as black as a crook." "Why, she's a real sorceress," cried Frederick Lynn. "Let us have her in, of course." "To be sure," rejoined his brother. "It would be 1,000 pities to throw away such a chance of fun." "My dear boys, what are you thinking about?" exclaimed Mrs. Lynn. "I cannot possibly countenance any such inconsistent proceeding," chimed in the Dowager Ingram. "Indeed, mamma, but you can and you will," pronounced the haughty voice of Blanche, as she turned round on the piano stool, where till now she had sat silent, apparently examining sundry sheets of music. "I have a curiosity to hear my fortune told. Therefore, Sam, order the beldame forwards." "My darling Blanche, recollect." "I do recollect all you can suggest. And I must have my will. Quick, Sam." "Yes, yes, yes," cried all the juveniles, both ladies and gentlemen. "Let her come, it will be excellent sport." The footman still lingered. "She looks such a rough one," said he. "Go!" ejaculated Miss Ingram, and the men went. Excitement instantly seized the whole party. A running fire of raillery and jests were proceeding when Sam returned. "She won't come now," said he. "She says it's not her mission to appear before the vulgar herd. I must show her into a room by herself, and then those who wish to consult her must go to her one by one." "You see now, my queenly Blanche," began Lady Ingram. "She encroaches. Be advised, my angel girl, and—" "Show her into the library, of course," cut in the angel girl. "It is not my mission to listen to her before the vulgar herd either. I mean to have her all to myself. Is there a fire in the library?" Yes, ma'am, but she looks such a tinkler. Cease the chatter, blockhead, and do my bidding. Again Sam vanished, and mystery, animation, expectation rose to full flow once more. She is ready now, said the footman, as he reappeared. She wishes to know who will be her first visitor. I think I had better just look in upon her before any of the ladies go, said Colonel Dent. Tell her, Sam, a gentleman is coming. Sam went and returned. She said, sir, that she'll have no gentleman. They need not trouble themselves to come near her, nor, he added, with difficulty suppressing a titter, any ladies either, except the young and single. By Jove, she has taste, exclaimed Harry Lynn. Miss Ingram rose solemnly. I go first, she said, in a tone which might have befitted the leader of a forlorn hope, mounting a breach in the van of his men. Oh, my best, oh, my dearest, pause, reflect, was her mamma's cry, but she swept past her in a stately silence, passed through the door which Colonel Dent held open, and we heard her enter in the library. A comparative silence ensued. Lady Ingram thought it liquor to wring her hands, which she did accordingly. Miss Mary declared she felt, for her part, she never dared venture. Emmy and Louisa Ashton tittered under their breath, and looked a little frightened. The minutes passed very slowly. 15 were counted before the library door again opened. Miss Ingram returned to us through the arch. Would she laugh? Would she take it as a joke? All eyes met her with a glance of eager curiosity, and she met all eyes with one of rebuff and coldness. She looked neither flurried nor merry. She walked stiffly to her seat, and took it in silence. Well, Blanche, said Lord Ingram. What did she say, sister? Asked Mary. What do you think? How do you feel? Is she a real fortune-teller? Demanded the Misses Ashton. Now, good people, returned Miss Ingram, don't press upon me. Really, your organs of wonder and credulity are easily excited. You seem by the importance you all, my good mamma included, ascribe to this matter, absolutely to believe we have a genuine witch in the house, who is in close alliance with the old gentleman. I have seen a gipsy vagabond. She has practised in hackneyed fashion the science of palmistry, and told me what such people usually tell. My whim is gratified, and now I think Mr. Ashton will do well to put the hag in the stocks tomorrow morning, as he threatened. Miss Ingram took a book, leant back in her chair, and so declined further conversation. I watched her for nearly half an hour. During all the time she never turned a page, and her face grew momentarily darker, more dissatisfied, and more sorely expressive of disappointment. She had obviously not heard anything to her advantage, and it seemed to me, from her prolonged fit of gloom and taciturnity, that she herself, notwithstanding her professed indifference, attached undue importance to whatever revelations had been made to her. Meantime, Mary Ingram, Amy, and Louisa Ashton declared they dared not go alone, and yet they all wished to go. A negotiation was opened through the medium of the ambassador Sam, and after much pacing to and fro, till I think the said Sam's calves must have ached with the exercise, permission was at last with great difficulty extorted from the rigorous Sibyl for the three to wait upon her in a body. Their visit was not so still as Miss Ingram's had been. We heard hysterical giggling and little shrieks proceeding from the library, and at the end of about 20 minutes they burst the door open and came running across the hall, as if they were half scared out of their wits. I'm sure she has something no right, they cried, one and all. She told us such things. She knows all about us. and they sank breathless into the various seats the gentleman hastened to bring them. Pressed for further explanation, they declared she had told them of things they had said and done when they were mere children, described books and ornaments they had in their boudoirs at home, keepsakes that different relations had presented to them. They affirmed that she had even divined their thoughts, and had whispered in the ear of each the name of the person she liked best in the world, and informed them of what they most wished for. Here the gentleman interposed with earnest petitions to be further enlightened on these two last named points, but they only got blushes, ejaculations, tremors, and titters in return for their importunity. The matrons, meantime, offered vinaigrette and wilted veins, and again reiterated the expression of their concern that their warning had not been taken in time, and the elder gentlemen laughed, and the younger urged their service on the agitated fair ones. In the midst of the tumult, and while my eyes and ears were fully engaged in the scene before me, I heard a hem close at my elbow. I turned and saw Sam.
"If you please, miss, the gipsy declares that there is another young single lady in the room who has not been to her yet, and she swears she will not go till she has seen all. I thought it must be you. There is no one else for it. What shall I tell her?"
"Oh, I will go by all means," I answered, and I was glad of the unexpected opportunity to gratify my much excited curiosity. I slipped out of the room unobserved by any eye, for the company were gathered in one mass about the trembling trio just returned, and I closed the door quietly behind me.
"If you like, miss," said Sam, "I'll wait in the hall for you, and if she frightened you, just go and I'll come in."
"No, Sam, return to the kitchen. I'm not in the least afraid." Nor was I, but I was a good deal interested and excited.